My name is Fraser.
My name is Mark.
And we are the hosts of the geekiest show alive. To the outside world, we're ordinary geeks.
But in the Fab International Studios, we talk comics and find other geeks just like us. This is Geek of the Week.
Hot dang. Police and the fireman, so hot. Hot dang.
I need photos of Spider-Man.
Welcome to the news section of the show. So, we've got a whole load of news because we've gone that extra mile now. We're a bit longer of a show. We've actually been managed to cram in a load of news.
We've always had to cut stuff with the news.
I've had to be a bit methodical with sometimes with the news and be like, is this what we want to talk about, or is this going to be covered somewhere else, or something like that?
Fun stuff that I'd have liked to have talked about as well, you know?
Yeah. I'm trying to work out in memories which it would be, but we'll skip past that now. We've got a bit of sad news to start off with.
Oh.
So the raccoon that inspired Rocket, the design for Rocket on Guardians of the Galaxy, the film, Oreo, has sadly passed away. So it's a bit of sad news just to start, but we just want to say, like, rest in peace.
Well, I read about Oreo, and he sounded like a very nice raccoon.
Yeah,
he was a very good-natured raccoon. And but he had a good innings. He had like a normal length of life.
Yeah.
Like apparently raccoons that are living in zoos and stuff last about 10 years, which is a little bit longer than the wild. So he was quite an old boy.
Yeah, matured, wise. A bit like Rocket in a way.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
But I think he's probably had a nicer life than Rocket. Rocket's been tested on and stuff like that. Oreo was probably treated rather nicely in the zoo.
I love zoos, and I love animals, and I like animals with a nice face. I have a collection of tattoos on various parts of my body that are animals with nice faces, and a raccoon is definitely one that I would like to get at some point.
Get Oreo.
I could get Oreo, couldn't I?
I honestly, for a second, then thought you were going to say you have a collection of animals' faces. And
well, I guess I do.
Mark,
I guess
but
I do,
it's kind of creepy when you say it like that.
But
bit Hannibal Lecter there.
No, they're painted on me.
Cruella de Vil.
They're painted on me. But yeah, I've got an otter and a cat and a emperor tamarin, and I'm planning on getting a fox and maybe a raccoon and a sloth.
Yeah, raccoons.
I'm just going to run out of space eventually.
Just have all animals on you. You have a zoo on your body.
I do.
But yeah, sad news to start off now. We've gone a bit longer. We've extended our show longer. Are you ready for a really, really super long, the longest Marvel movie there's been? Avengers Endgame may be 3 hours long. There's been talks collided with Russo brothers, and they're like, yeah, the edit at this moment is like 3 hours long, and it's looking like it's going to be that. They've tested it with screenings, like they've had 4, and I think the first 3 screenings, no one went for a toilet break. Do not blame him. I would want to see every last minute, especially if you're seeing it before everyone else.
I'd take a bottle with me just in case.
Exactly. Imagine if your mate was like, oh yeah, I got to see Endgame early, but I missed a bit because I peed. I'd be like, you're the worst person.
Yeah,
How could you do this? What? Why?
You'd just have a dad wee afterwards, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's really long. Oh my goodness, it was worth it. So, Mark, I think you've answered here. What are your plans for when it's 3 hours? There is talk about an intermission, but are you going to bring a bottle, tactical pee beforehand?
Right, here's the thing.
And after?
I went to see Lord of the Rings at the cinema. That was 3 hours, and I managed to control my bladder.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are lots and lots of exceptionally good 3-hour films. Godfather 2, Schindler's List, Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
It's not particularly unusual for a film to be 3 hours, so I don't see why it's massive news. And this is the culmination of, what, over 10 years?
Yeah,
of
over
Marvel
10 years,
films?
22 films.
The last film?
24.
The last Avengers film was way over 2 hours.
Yeah, it was like 2 hours 40. So they have been...
This isn't really news.
They have been creeping. Yeah, but 3 hours... The thing is, though, with those films is the kind of audience that will watch them, and some of them did have an intermission,
Really?
Yeah, in the original thing, so they had like a little intermission. The thing is with this, is like a blockbuster film, so most people will have like, don't want to do the stereotype, but like a big jug of popcorn and a big drink, like, you know, those like big ounces. If you're drinking a lot of this, my thing would be, I never really need the toilet when I go to thingy. It's always afterwards that it hits me, but I don't really drink or eat anything while I'm watching a film, so I feel like I'll be okay, especially I'm just going to be entertained for 3 hours going, oh my god, this is amazing.
I'm a nachos and big drink kind of guy, so I'm going to be there holding my bladder.
Yeah.
We are talking about weeing when we should be talking about Endgame. It's a good thing that it's 3 hours. The story is there to tell, I can't wait. I'm glad it's 3 hours.
It's cool though, and like there is this talk about this intermission and stuff like that. I'm just imagining it's going to be like this big thing. Like, imagine if it, like, let's just cast our minds back, because we don't know what's going to happen in Endgame, so we can't speculate a scene in mind. But when Thor arrives on Wakanda, imagine if him arriving was when the intermission was. You'd be like, oh, come on, what? No.
I could totally go with an intermish, though. That would be nice for a toilet break. I'm getting old. My bladder's getting smaller.
It would be nice, but one of the things is when it's just like, when everyone's taking forever, I just be, oh no, come on, quick, go. Especially, imagine if it's like a midnight screening and you're already like kind of fatigued.
We are going to a midnight screening.
Yeah, I sort of like fatigue sometimes with those midnight screenings. But just like, I struggle to stay awake, but then like, the film's epic enough, it keeps me awake. Like, I had it with Age of Ultron a bit, where I was like, this is alright.
We went to see Age of Ultron, didn't we?
We did, yeah. That was a wow.
That was at like 12:05, that screening. It was really cool.
There's a nice little throwback you're doing there. And Marvel have done their own nice little throwback, and I'm very proud of that segue. With their own Captain Marvel website, which is totally 90s. It's epic. What we thought of this being you were around when the internet was like,
absolutely,
was actually like this.
I was at university when the internet looked like this. I went to university in 1997. It
was all clicky-clacky.
This Captain Marvel website looks like the best websites looked at that time, and it's so delightfully 90s, and it's so wonderful. I love it. I just think it's such a nod to how cool the 90s were, but also how naff the 90s were. Yeah. And you know, the animated GIFs, the sparkly background, Comic Sans, for goodness sake. I am totes emosh. It reminded me of...
It set you back.
Yes, it really did. And it's clever. It's really clever.
The thing is, as well, like, we're talking about a website here. There's been so many films that have had websites, and it's like, oh yeah, they just got a website. I mean, the Endgame one got taken over by Deadpool when the trailer hit, which was kind of funny for a bit.
That's quite clever.
But yeah, like, we're talking about a website. It's crazy, and it just shows how much they're embracing this 90s feel. And I'm happy that some of the marketing for Captain Marvel is getting pushed now, because I felt like Endgame has sort of been overshadowing it a lot, and I'm just happy for it. Did you see the little game there was, like the scroll one?
Yeah.
You have to guess someone, and there's like, it's the same ones over and over again, like, you can't like play, but it did confirm that like Granny was a scroll, which I'm pretty sure everyone knew.
But those were games like that were cutting edge in 1997. there was
no BuzzFeed quiz saying which scroll are you.
Yeah, so many websites were like that. I remember a website called Assassin, which was like the simplest of simple games, but because it was on the internet, they were cool. And we were already on N64 maybe at that point. So games were quite advanced, or at least compared to that kind of game. Yeah. And there was a website called Assassin where you just assassinated celebrities in really, really cheap ass ways. It was
throw a banana at the.
It was beautifully odd.
That does sound bizarre. That does very bizarre.
But no, I'm talking about stuff that no one else will remember, and that's the point. The 90s websites don't exist anymore.
Space Jam does. The Space Jam website, which is become a cult favourite for some reason. There's a cult following. There's a cult following behind Space Jam, but the Space Jam website is still going. I also want to see if that Amanda Please one's going from the Amanda Show, because I love that show. But they were like the cheesy websites. But I think maybe this website's been inspired by Space Jam. They're like, oh, people still love that. Come on, everyone loves the 90s.
It's a really clever idea.
I'm loving the love for the 90s. Now, a love for another time. Cast your minds not so far back from the 90s, but a bit forward to the noughties. 2000 to 2015, we had the Ultimate Universe, and Donny Cates, who's currently writing a load of Venom, wants to restart the Ultimate Universe, which is kind of exciting. So, Cates himself, along with Ryan Stegman, Tom Taylor, and Saeed Ahmed, and Corey Smith, all who have been writing Spider-Man books like Friendly Neighborhood, Miles Morales' stuff, and The Amazing. They've got this free comic book day, a Spidey one, which obviously we're going to put on Pull or Pass because it's Spidey. But they're setting up apparently a big story that's going to set up two big things in Marvel. Now, these free comic book days, they usually have an issue. It's usually an Avengers or something like that that sets up the big summer event or two of the summer events. Now, we've already have War of the Realms, and I imagine this isn't going to set that up because that's very 4-based. So we're going to get two potential big stories here. One that could restart the Ultimate Universe, which we got a bit of in Spider-Man 2 at the end, like when they cast, spoilers for that, they cast, who did they cast away? The Miles Morales character from the other universe got cast over there, and we got to see what, because it was like one of Bendis' last stories at Marvel, so it was like a little ode to the Ultimate Universe. We got to see what a alternative Ultimate Universe looked like, and it did look pretty cool, so it would be cool for them to explore it.
So is it the Ultimate Universe back, or is it another Ultimate Universe? Alternative Ultimate Universe?
It would have to be an alternative, just because in Secret Wars, the Ultimate Universe and the 616 Earth smashed together.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And 616 sort of became an amalgamation of the two, so it'd just be another universe, but they'd say like it is the Ultimate Universe.
Ultimate Universe 2.
Almost, yeah, but like they haven't said that with the Earth 616, so it would just be like a new. It's weird. It's when you get into universes and stuff like that where comics just becomes a bit mind-boggling.
As much as the names involved,
but also
are great. Yeah. I do worry that continuity and wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, and this is the Ultimate Universe, but it's not. It's an alternative. I do feel like it's intimidating for non-obsessive geeks. People who, I quite like the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
I do, as much as I'm quite excited for it, and it sounds interesting, I do wonder whether or not it's the right move.
No, so it's a valid concern, to be fair. What this would be is, so we've read a lot of Rebirth on DC. Did you need to know that the universe was restarted potentially by Dr. Manhattan?
I could have. I did feel I didn't need
Did any of the stories
no
get massively affected?
No.
And when we read,
I guess they need
we've
to
read
be clever,
we've read a lot of Marvel. Did you need to know about Secret Wars? Really, you just basically in my mind, I always have it as long as you know what's going on in the story you're reading, you're okay to start off with. If you want to know more, it's a bit of an extracurricular. But what this will be is, it'll sort of be a new Ultimate Universe because it'll be starting again. It'll just be a new universe.
Right.
So DC do it all the time. Like New 52 was new. Flashpoint happened.
Yeah.
And you didn't need to know about Flashpoint. Just New 52. You just picked up. Like I was reading Nightwing New 52. Didn't really need to know that much about Flashpoint. I knew about Flashpoint because of the animated movie. Didn't really know its connection to New 52 until I got more into comics. And I was like, okay. So it's one of them.
I'm playing devil's advocate here. Like it sounds good to me, but.
I'm well excited. I did enjoy the Ultimate Universe, but I think it did have its time. It did have its time because it was 15 years long, and some people worry that the MCU is going to go this way because what happened with the Ultimate Universe is it got so connected and it got such a big continuity that it did just have to end. It had a few notches. Some of the bad stuff from the Ultimate Universe negatively affected it. So there is that concern that will happen with the MCU. The MCU is looking a bit stronger at its 10-year point, so it'd be less likely, and there's less content in the MCU to
here's the thing.
Downgrade it.
If the MCU does lose steam, think of what we've had so far, and it has been 10 years. That it's not comic books where heroes age in a different way to...
Yeah, exactly.
Like 10 years in comic books could be a year in real life.
It could be 10 days.
Sorry, 10 years in comic books could... A year in comic books would be 10 years worth of stories in real life. And unfortunately, actors don't stay the same. We've seen that with Hugh Jackman in Wolverine. He says he's too old.
He's got younger and younger.
Well, yes,
but he
feels
says
he's too old to play Wolverine. And he has a point. He's been doing it for nearly 2 decades.
Yeah.
So the difference with the comic books is they don't have to age in the way that the MCU does. But the MCU is still so strong. So strong.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to worry about that for a while.
I think it just...
Don't be putting ideas like that in my head.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's a one thing. It's just a different aspect to look at. And I was, like, looking at that and then just thinking, but why... Like, I look at it as a credit to how the MCU's managed to strive through that. It's like... Because it has got limitations. Like you say, actors do get older and stuff like that. But they do also have, like, they can use the 50-year history... not 50-year, 80-year history of Marvel to get more and more. It's not just the... ultimate stuff. Now let's talk about some more Marvel stuff, because I'm very excited about this. Hulu are doing a lot of work with Marvel at the moment. They're talking for 4 adult animated series. One that got brought to my attention because I love Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith was praising Hulu for bringing Howard the Duck, and I think he's actually going to work on Howard the Duck, which will be hilarious.
The Duck.
We got a Hit Monkey series, which is hilarious. I love him.
Bizarre.
I love him in Deadpool and Spider-Man have a crossover, and he's Hit Monkey's hilarious in that. We've got MODOK getting his own series, which is bizarre, and then Tigra and Dazzler are getting one together.
I love Tigra, and putting her with Dazzler is wonderful.
And then
the choice of characters is so
exactly
peculiar.
You know what you'll love even more? They're going to do a team-up one called The Offenders.
Which, you know,
bit of a nudge to the Defenders there.
I think it's a bit of a flick in the V's as well.
Yeah, but it's all right because Hulu have also talked about maybe bringing back Daredevil and all that on their service. Yeah,
that's interesting.
So, what are your thoughts about Hulu and Hulu and a bit of Kevin Smith?
The problem with Hulu is you can't get it in Britain. And I want it in Britain because it has some really good shows on it.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Runaways is sublime. Runaways is one of my favourite comics anyway, but the TV show is so well done that I trust Hulu. I'm glad that Hulu have got these 4 beautifully peculiar animated series.
Bizarre.
I'm really, really glad, and I may be the only person in the world that's fond of the Howard the Duck film. It's
the George Lucas
yeah, exactly.
classic.
But I've also read a lot of Howard the Duck comics, and they're actually really good. A lot of them are a lot of fun.
I'm interested. Have you read any of the recent stuff? Because our dude Chip Zdarsky's on that.
Yeah, that's right. And they're fun. They're a lot of fun.
What a dude.
I love that this random duck is in the Marvel universe.
I also love that Kevin Smith's like attached with it because like he's hilarious. He does a lot of obviously his films like Jane Silent Bob, Clerks and all that. He loves this media, and he still does Fat Man Beyond, not Fat Man on Batman anymore, because he talks more than just Batman. But I like that he's attached because he's sort of like, he's a wacky, crazy dude, and he's always working on these projects.
He will suit Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck is deliberately odd and peculiar.
I wonder how connected it's going to be to the MCU, because Howard the Duck does rock up in Guardians.
I'm marked out for that so much.
Great.
I really want a Howard the Duck film, but I suspect that one is beyond.
The Offenders. Like, these are all brilliant. They're all going to be hilarious. MODOK, that's just going to be like a machine. He's literally made to kill.
Brilliant.
And also exciting that maybe like it might bring new life to some of the Defenders as well. That's exciting, and like this is good news. Go Hulu. Hooray for Hulu.
You've got to remember Hulu are part owned by Disney.
Yeah,
Netflix
and they'll own more when they buy Fox as well.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So no, it's not a surprise that Hulu are getting shows and Netflix aren't.
Yeah.
I just feel like Disney has. It's more that Disney has said you can't have any more than Netflix have actually cancelled their. This is pure speculation.
No, it's just a deal. It's just their deal in it, and they've had to part ways. Just as the way the world works. But yeah, I'm keen for Hulu. Come to the UK. We're nice.
Yeah, we want Hulu.
We'll give you fish and chips, probably. Other delicacies.
Chicken tikka.
What?
Chicken tikka. I like chicken tikka.
I know, but it's not very like British. Americans
aren't
aren't
British.
No,
pretty British.
Americans aren't going to go chicken tikka is British. They're going to think, oh no, it's like a curry that's more like Indian and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but
I know we steal everything. Okay,
Balti was made in Birmingham. It doesn't exist in India.
Right. Cool.
We're bickering about random stuff. Move on.
Fact there, fish and chips for the win.
I do like fish and chips though.
I don't. It's weird. I like chips.
I just like food.
So. We're done with Marvel side of stuff, and now we're going over to DC. Now, did you like the Aquaman movie?
Yes, I did.
Big fan. It's hit $1 billion. It's the most successful DC film, and it's getting a spin-off.
I didn't actually know that.
It's getting a spin-off with The Trench. Now, do you remember The Trench from the film? That little bit that Aquaman had to go through to go get the Triton, and and his mum was there for a bit. His mum? His mum was there for a bit.
Wow.
Yeah,
so northern.
They're doing a whole film on The Trench with the writer from Aquaman, but it's got none of the Aquaman cast in. There is also an Aquaman sequel coming. So they're kind of going all in. They're diving in deep. They're submerging themselves.
That's beautiful.
In the Aquaman universe, and fair play.
Oh, why the hell not? I'll watch it. That's certainly an interesting take on it.
Yeah, it's bizarre, and it's obviously this Aquaman movie was very much influenced by the Jeff Johns New 52 run of Aquaman, and a lot of that does focus on the trench, so it could work. And it's very interesting, this idea of like building a universe around, like, because Aquaman, Batman, and all these DC characters could build a whole universe around themselves. A lot of comic book heroes can. Spider-Man did it for ages at Sony. So maybe this is what you do. You build a big universe with Aquaman. You build a big universe with Wonder Woman. They're getting the sequels. And they just build universes with the ones that are doing well, and then maybe bring them together. Or maybe you don't bring them together. Like, it's not necessarily that you have to bring all these heroes together. Give the smaller cast... smaller heroes a shot, the side characters in Aquaman or Wonder Woman or a Batman, because
I'm interested. I hope it makes money.
To MCU always bigs up the big characters, but the little characters sort of get left aside. But so it would be interesting. Like, imagine like a Bucky movie or like something like that.
Nah,
but with DC, like Bucky. DC could have their own.
Black Widow would be good, but not Bucky.
Yeah, but it was an example. Why have you always got to bitter my bat?
I just don't like Bucky.
Oh, all right. We get it. Right, we'll stick on DC. We'll throw Marvel out the way. We'll keep going back to them. They keep trying to invade the news. Stop trying to take over Disney. God. Now, what are your opinions of Jack Black or Josh Gad as Penguin in the Batman movie in 2021?
They both work for me. They both definitely work for me. I'm happy with either of those choices.
Now, I hope you don't take this as disheartening, but we're from two different eras. Yeah. You're probably from the era of where
Danny DeVito.
When someone is getting casted for a role, it comes out in a newspaper or something, or like someone will announce it and you wait for an actual announcement. So now in the modern age, all you need to do apparently is just put a picture up on Twitter of the character that you want to be, and everyone will go, ooh, because that's how it started with Josh Gad.
I am aware of the internet, Fraser.
We talked about it earlier with the Captain Marvel website. That's your internet, right?
So rude.
But yeah, like, this is how you get a role now. I might start doing it. I might just post a load of... Maybe I should try and become an actor and just post a load of pictures of Spider-Man and Mark Grayson Invincible, and just like Dick Grayson, like, hey guys, just throwing it out there. But yeah, either or works. And this Batman movie, the director Matt Reeves of Planet of the Apes fame, the latest two.
I was going to say the good ones.
Not the Tim Burton ones. But Tim Burton's had his time on Batman and Planet of the Apes, thank goodness.
His time on Batman was
no, that's
fine.
what I mean. I meant the latter, obviously.
But Planet of the Apes, not so much.
That's what I mean. So, where was I going with this? Yeah, so he's talking about how there's going to be... It's focused on the Rose Gallery, so there's going to be quite a lot of villains, which is very, very exciting. I hope they touch us upon some villains who got a bit shamed on in, like, Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. I'd love to see a Riddler, love to see...
a decent Poison Ivy would be nice.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze.
No, Mr. Freeze.
No, but Mr. Freeze but
serious. King Tut.
Mr. Freeze but serious.
No King Tut.
Especially in the world of Netflix and chill, imagine.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
I think it'd be brilliant. But yeah, also Jack Black and Josh Gad would be brilliant as Penguin. There was there's a fan casting a while back. Do you remember the guy who played Otto Octavius in Spider-Man 2?
Yes.
Him as Penguin. I was like, that's really cool. He's from the Sam Raimi. He's a Sam Raimi guy, isn't he? Yeah, that would be really cool. But also these two, like there's like a resurgence of Jack Black now. He's sort of come back into it, and he like dipped a bit, and I'm happy for it. And Josh Gad was great in Beauty and the Beast, and obviously he's Olaf from Frozen. So see, Olaf. Mr. Ice could be there, Mr. Freeze, Olaf. I'm telling you, it could work. It's happening.
That's cool.
But yeah, exciting news, and more exciting Batman news. Batman and the Ninja Turtles are meeting in the first crossover animated film. So this happened in comics in 2015, and obviously DC have
Were the comics good? I didn't read.
They were brilliant.
Seriously?
They were epic. They were really good stories. We'll throw a load of crossovers on Trade-Off, because I love a good crossover.
I do not.
Most of the time they worked, or like they'll do a sequel and it doesn't work, and you're like, yeah, you should just stick with the first one.
I find crossovers contrived and hokey.
But when they do it right, it's good. Like when they don't force it, it can work for a nice story. Or you're willing to just accept it. And I'm looking forward to seeing this in animated form, because yeah, the 2015 book really did work and was like really well. They churned a lot of them out successfully as well. Like they were well received, and I'm excited to see it in animated form. Hopefully that means there's more crossovers. Maybe we might see the Looney Tunes and the DC characters, Hanna-Barbera. We have seen Batman team up with Scooby-Doo, so that's,
Oh, no.
I'm looking forward to what it brings, and I'm also excited for, like, the theme song they're going to use this. I hope they mix a bit of the dun-na-na-na-na-na-na-na and then Teenage Mutant
I hope not.
Dun-na-na-na-na-na-na Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
Turtles in a half shell. Batman!
You remember when mashups were cool rather than overdone? Well, no more mashups.
I would love a mashup, and I'm
I also have another concern.
Oh.
No Mark Hamill. Why isn't Mark Hamill playing the Joker?
More people play the Joker, you know. More people play the Joker. More people play the Joker well as well. It's not just Mark Hamill.
I know.
He's busy doing Invincible.
Oh, true that.
Let him do Invincible, bruh.
True that.
Bruh. Gotta get that Invincible in me. Need to absorb all that content. So we're off DC. We're on a bit of independent. Not really independent. Aaron Taylor Johnson, should have put his last name because I'm defo, forgot it, is sort of replacing the Eggsy role and Taron Egerton in the Kingsman prequel. So Aaron Taylor, let's say Johnson, why not? It's probably not. The guy from Kick-Ass, the main character from Kick-Ass, the guy who played the lead in that, he also played Quicksilver, Rip.
Which is sad.
He's going to be the lead in the new Kingsman prequel, and they're going back to the World War times. It's exciting stuff. It's a new take for Kingsman. I'm looking forward to it. What was your thoughts on this news piece?
Fess up time. I've not watched Kingsman.
Oh, yeah.
No. I need to get on it.
I remember a while back, I think I was talking about one of the Kingsman films to you, and you were like, wait, that was a comic book? I was like, yeah, by Mark Millar, and you were like, ooh. So,
no, I've definitely oohed at it. I just haven't got round to seeing it.
You've been oohed. It is really cool.
Have you got it on DVD?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got the first one on DVD,
bring it
so
round,
I'll lend it to you at one point.
We'll like not Netflix and definitely not chill.
Yeah, because we won't be watching on Netflix. So
exactly.
And there's no Mr. Freeze there.
No.
So basically, the whole thing about Kingsman is it's a homage back to those crazy like James Bond spy films that are just out there and bizarre, and they have all these crazy technologies. Like in the second one, they bring someone back from being shot in the head. Which shouldn't happen.
No.
But I'm looking forward to them having that kind of technology, but in a World War setting. So, like, are they going to have some bizarre things like cannons, but they shoot out lasers instead of, like, bombs or whatever, or other World War weapons a bit more modernized or something? It'd be interesting to see. And, yeah, Aaron Taylor is a great... He was great in Kick-Ass. I really enjoyed his Kick-Ass. I thought it was a great sort of like, what's going on? And if he's going for that sort of like, if he's the Eggsy in this, the sort of like getting thrown into the Kingsman world and being confused. I like it. It's a cool take. There are, so sorted.
I need to watch Kingsman.
You do need to. That is the thing we've established in this news story, as I did diver on. Now, the last bit, we're going to end on a bit of a food fight that was going with Marvel vs. DC and Wendy's. So Gail Simone, great comic person to follow on Twitter and just on her work. So, sorry, I just got bamboozled then for a second by something that space. It might have been the fast food fairies.
We don't even have Wendy's in this country.
But wait, so she asked Wendy's, and Wendy's on Twitter are an incredible Twitter account to follow. They're just hilarious. Like, people will send complaints or whatever, and they'll just burn them. Like, honestly, mate, have a look on their newsfeed. They're hilarious, and you'll appreciate them more once we go through this story.
It's been 3 weeks in America and didn't have Wendy's. I should have done it.
You should have used the time. So, yeah, like I say, Gail Simone, she asked them, Marvel or DC, and Wendy's replied and had to admitted that it was Marvel. And then there was some neckbeards out there who were like, oh yeah, I bet you don't even read it. Tell me your 5 top stories. And they were like, Matt Fraction's run on Hawkeye, the stuff for Civil War, and named all these comics, and everyone was like, whoa. And then more people were going out, like, just talking to Wendy's about comics, and they were like, yeah, we do like DC as well. And they talked about some of the DC runs they just preferred their Marvel.
Because Marvel is better.
And then they talked about how, dude, don't set that fire here. Don't need that. And then they also mentioned that they like rat queens, and it was like, wait, what? This is really cool.
I've gone off them now. They like rat queens.
And DC, it was funny because so the head editors, Jim Lee and Dan Dido at DC, were a bit like, they fired back with them, and one of them, I can't remember which one had which. I think Jim had McDonald's in his hand, and Dan had Burger King in his hand, and they both put separate tweets with the motto from the other burger place, and they've gone weekly visit at the editors-in-chief thing, just to fire back at Wendy's. And it was like,
Twitter is full of this.
I love stuff like this. Yeah. It like I sometimes have my things with Twitter where I'm just like, I don't really get, like, sometimes with Twitter I'm just like, but then stuff like this just makes me glad that I am actually on Twitter and I got to see this. Like,
I love stuff like this when I've got time.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bit of fun. And
yeah.
It was brilliant.
We are on Twitter, by the way, at GOTW Radio.
Holy plug, Batman.
I know.
Yeah, we are on Twitter, and speaking of Twitter, we want to know your thoughts on all these news stories, and you can shoot it our way on Twitter, you can comment below on your YouTube video, we've got a Facebook group if you want to join the discussion. We want to know all your geeky thoughts, as well as ours. And with that, that's the news done, guys.
To listen to Geek of the Week, be sure to tune in next week. Same geek time, same geek channel.
And if you want to follow us on social media, it's at GOTW Radio on Twitter. Search for Geek of the Week Radio Show on Facebook. And to listen again, it's www.mixcloud.com/Geek of the Week Radio Show.